questions?
Here they discussed it more in depth, and the people were here then had no issue with what they were doing. They just wanted to see pictures, and I told him just today to bring the pictures, and we'd be moving forward. He said the other part had already. Now, I didn't rezone that. That would have been before my time, but he's trying to have it look just like the other part. He is a District 1 resident, and it's your property, right? And you're building, do you all live there? Did you say you live there?
We live at 3912 Milford Road, which is across the street. So if you go down Fairview and you go down West Hamilton, or not West Hamilton, there's right by Tennessee Park, the street right by the where the train used to be, that's the Meadowside Road. We live on that same road. We live within walking distance of Meadowside.
Does anybody have any questions or any strong feeling about it, or? Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, were you done? Did you? He's asking why change the neighborhood and have it looking like this. He doesn't like the way this looks, and he doesn't want the neighborhood changed. But the way it looks now, what's there now?
There's just a single residence. That's what it is. So no Airbnb, definitely a short-time lease. We plan on selling one and renting out the other. Whether I'll be in that house is still up for debate. I want to be either in 3912 Milford Road or at the 4019 residence. It's just a discrepancy of if my father's still living in our family home. It would definitely be no Airbnbs, short-term leases, roughly around a year.
Children inheriting property from their parents,
Mm-hmm.
and once the parents deceased and move on, then they sell it for the first offer,
Mm-hmm.
and then our neighborhood begin to change, and I think we pretty well satisfied how it look already.
No, I definitely understand that. Being a District 1 resident, I've seen a bunch of change, and I've seen a lot of cases like that where people, jump on the first offer that they see. What we pride ourselves in is being the backbone and bleeding and breathing District 1. All the work that we've done, I kind of call it unpaid labor, but it's an investment of blood. Every house that we've worked on in District 1 and around Nashville, I've been in and helped around. So I have no plans. I know I can't really, contractually write that up that the first offer I get, I would just sell and then, move out of state. But I don't plan on leaving Nashville anytime soon. Uh, my actual fiance is from Connecticut, and I told her at no point in time would I ever consider moving to Connecticut or anywhere else. I'm a I graduated with a mechanical engineering degree with a double minor in business administration and math. I'm currently a local artist, so I do a bunch of. I would say I've been tinkering for about 20 years. Ever since my dad has started, I've been his number two as far as any like labor. He's worked at the Brick Church UPS for the past. I would say he's a real estate agent. He just owns property in Nashville. The first property I owned was 3912. He then owned a property. I don't remember the name. It was on I think Weekly, which was like near Trinity and Brick Church. And he owns owns a property in Madison. But he's not a developer in the sense of like looking for plots of land and say like, because I get calls all the time from realtors and developers saying, hey, we noticed that you got land at 4019, call us for an offer. And I have to deny those calls every day. No problem. Any other questions?
Okay, thanks for coming. We'll probably have the most questions, or the biggest project will probably be that on Cato Road. So I know I said you're going first. I'm gonna make you last instead. I tricked you. I didn't trick you. I just thought about it. Let me get these others out of the way real quick. Okay, whoever, 1814 County Hospital Road. Okay, 3740 Hydes Ferry. Okay, you wanna
My name is Mansour Morgan. We're currently requesting to change the zoning for 3740 Hydes Ferry from single family to double build. Right now, the lot is 3/4 of an acre. It's sitting on 200 feet of road frontage. We are trying to zone it R zoning that will not allow us to have short-term rentals. Also, you're concerned about skinny houses. It's a really big lot, so it's going to be a bigger houses than a skinnies. Yes, ma'am. Yes, we actually built 1600 East Stewart. Is down the street. Yes, ma'am. I also have a picture of the build if you want to see it. It will probably look something similar to East Stewart. We're planning on doing like a 40 wide or 45 wide house on it. Yeah, I have a picture of it. I can show you. So the white one is East Stewart. Well, these are other houses we built, but this one we built down the street. Yes, ma'am. I don't have a lot, but yeah, I can. And I also have this. This is the parcel. It's 3/4 of an acre, so it's a little bit less than 30,000 square feet. It's not gonna the zoning is not gonna allow us for short term. Right. Yeah. This is the red is the land. Most of the houses. Anybody else want to see it? Skinny's around, it's around 17, 18 feet wide. These are going to be around 35 to 45 feet wide. I'm sorry, mid 400s to high 400s.
If you have a question, will you raise your hand so I can give you the mic and everybody can hear your question and hear his response? Is there another question for you?
Yes, sir.
So you said you were going to two-family?
Yeah, from
So is the zoning is currently RS15 and you're going to,
R10.
and I think I've got in my notes that it's a 0.67 acre parcel.
Yes.
So are you planning one unit that is a duplex? Are you planning two
No.
duplexes? What are you planning
No, it's going to be
unit-wise?
2 single family, not attached.
Okay, thank you.
So, District One's supposed to be the dumping ground here in Nashville, is that correct?
Supposed to be the what?
The dumping ground. Anything you don't want in Davidson County, you take it to District One.
Not really. So actually, what I think is we making the neighborhood looks better. The house that's on it is it's falling apart. So by us building the two houses, we're gonna make the neighborhood looks better.
What if you do a nice one-side houses compared to the neighborhood, be a lot better for us.
I'm sorry, I can say that again?
One unit on that property. You know, make it affordable, make it look comparable to the residents that's already been here. You know, we got folks been here 40, 50 years, and now y'all wanna make a dump out of District One.
So the lots in the neighborhood are usually around 10,000 square feet. This lot is 29,000 square feet. So the lot by itself is 3 times as big as the average lots in the neighborhood. So technically, if you want, it's the same thing, we can build up to 3 houses on it, but that's not our plan.
Are you a replicable quality builder, or are you just?
Yes, we don't,
What's the name of your company?
Proverbs Build Trust.
What's the name?
Proverbs?
Proverbs?
Yes, ma'am. So we don't build plastic siding. All of our house have granite, all of our house have hardwood. Yeah,
Well, now, y'all done built some houses in Parkwood that ain't quality. I'm just gonna tell you, because I used to live in Parkwood.
that,
And people that come over there and said they was gonna build quality products, quality houses, they presented graphs and examples of what they were gonna build, and it ended up being nothing but some junk. And so I know you present stuff on a plan, but your plan don't always emulate what you actually build. So, I mean, you know, I'm just putting it out there, because I've seen this happen.
yeah, so I have one thing to say about that. So back then, the market was so hot that if you put anything for sale, it's gonna sell. But now the market slowed down, so we actually have to build quality. People get picky, and at least for us, people get picky, and we're not trying to let the house sit on the market for a long time. It's 3740 Highs Ferry.
Any other questions? Does anyone have like a strong opinion, one way or the other, about this? That's a no from Mr. Holloway. Strong no. Anybody else have a strong opinion, one way or the other? Okay, all right. Okay, thanks for your presentation. I'm sorry, I promised this young lady to give her the first 5 minutes. I'm coming to you, I promised her that, and I did not see her over here with her baby. Do you want to sit down and do your presentation? Okay. Oh, okay, all right. And
Hi, good morning. My name is Nicole Bailey. I am the program manager at the C.E. Magruder Family Resource Center. Have any of you all heard of that resource center on 25th Avenue North? Great. This is my case manager, Janelle Burns. We are coming out to the community, wanting everyone to know about our center and the resources that we provide. I've been in this role for a little over a year. I've been working at the Magruder Center in a different capacity since 2019. And in that first year, I was basically just trying to figure out the role, kind of get an idea of where I wanted the center and the programs in the center to head. But I realized, or at least it's my belief, that I cannot develop programs without coming to the community to find out what those needs are. So I just want to briefly tell you about the programs that we have. She's passing out some forms right now that you can also look at to see what's going on in our center. And then if you guys have any questions or suggestions for needs that you think could better, that we could provide in the center, please just let us know, okay? So the Magruder Family Resource Center is a center that is basically like a hub for multiple services. We focus on housing insecurity, food insecurity, individuals that are impacted by the justice system, youth programs, and case management, education, and vulnerability of those that are aging. Right now, we are trying to grow our mental health programs. We know that that is a huge need in our community. We have not had a counselor in the center for a while, so we're trying to find ways to bring in counselors and also just supportive programs that help individuals that are struggling with mental health or just need a space to just be. We're trying to grow programs for our youth. Currently, we have Preston Taylor Ministries in the center that provides after-school care and summer programs for individuals K through high school, but in the center right now, they're just in elementary school, and they're going to bring back their middle school in the fall. We're also bringing in another group called Royal Table that's going to provide wraparound services. We're also engaging with Begani Education to bring STEM classes for our youth, as well as hopefully to do 3D printing for all ages. What else are we growing? Youth, mental health, and community engagement, which is why I'm here right now. I really just want to know what it is that you all feel are needs that we need to replicate in the center. Most people come to our center immediately for food boxes. We have a commodity food box and a regular food box program. And then we also provide financial assistance for individuals that are behind on rent and utility bills. You will come into the center, and the person that you would talk to for that would be Janelle. So I'm going to let her briefly tell you what that looks like.
So when you come into the center, it's a warm, friendly environment. Typically, you'll speak with the intake specialist, Donna, and Miss Audrey. Once you present her with, whatever it is that you need, she'll typically get back with me and let me know. I'll get in contact with you. We'll run an assessment, and I'll help you navigate any resources that you need. So if we can't help you, I can help you find organizations that will be able to assist you. For example, let's say you owe $1,500 on your rent. Obviously, we can't assist with that full balance, but I will be able to assist you with finding other organizations that can help you. If you need case management in regards to referrals for other organizations, I can help you write that up. You need help getting your license, you need grief counseling, and you need other services, I'm there to help you with that process. If you need assistance with medical, you need assistance with finding a safe place for your kids. If there's domestic violence issues, I assist you with that as well. So whatever you have that's going on in your life and you need somebody there to walk with you through the process, I'm there.
She didn't know she was coming up here. I just told her when she sat down. To piggyback on what she said, one of the things that we're trying to do is build a culture where everybody that comes in the center feels like it's a warm and welcoming environment. And to fulfill that, one of the things that we're trying to do and establish with our team is that we just don't say no. A lot of times you walk somewhere and they say, well, you don't fill the requirements, so we can't help you. We don't want to be that kind of agency. So even if the need that you have does not fill the requirements for the programs that we offer, our goal is to walk with you to make sure that we can help you navigate those resources. Another thing that we're also trying to start next month is our Provider Day. It'll be the first Monday of every month. That is our initiative to make sure that we can break down the barriers for the referral gap where, you send somebody to this organization and send them to that organization. So we're working with as many organizations as we can to bring them all to Magruder on the first Monday of every month so that individuals can come and navigate in one place all those different resources. We also have a workforce development program, so individuals that are interested in getting better skills to be employable, you can enlist in one of those programs. We have a sewing training academy, a culinary academy, sewing training, what's the other two, sorry, trades and Unidos in banking. That's for individuals that English is a second language for them. It's an 8-week training program for them so that they can get a job in the banking field. If you have any more questions, please feel free to, our email is catholicchurchcc10.org. And I also have my card here that goes, you could call me, that goes directly to my cell phone or text. I tell people always text, that's probably the best. And I think that's all that we covered. Thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate it. Sorry I didn't get you up sooner. I'm sorry. Thank you. Oh, there's a question.
You got a program that helping people that speak a different language. We got kids that speak your language, need jobs, and we need to encourage them for a career. And I need your business card because I know some young people need jobs. I'd rather for them to be working than have them put in jail, you know. And we need to mentor them and get them involved in what's going on instead of just hanging loose. And these little tall, skinny they talking about, they can't rent these apartments. They have to stay with their parents. You know what I'm saying? And you talking about helping folks with their rent. They can't move out. I passed by a man's house. He had 6 cars in his driveway every day. It costs kids to move back home. They can't afford to just rent these tall, skinny. You know. Well, thank you.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. One of the things that we've been trying to do is build an entrepreneurship program at the Magruder Center. So if you or anyone that you know would be willing to help us in navigating that, that would be great. Working as a case manager, especially during COVID, I saw the effect that COVID had, especially on our single moms, when there was no childcare and they had to stay at home, and our whole goal for programs is breaking cycles. So we wanted to put those skills in the hands of our students. We piloted a program a few years ago, but we needed more community input and involvement. So that, and then also we're reaching out with all the different schools in MNPS. We've been doing meetings over the past few weeks trying to find out where we could provide support, especially for the 3rd and 4th graders that are having to deal with the retention law. So looking to see how we can assist in that way. So we do programs, but we would love to have our community center to be a community center. So if there's something that you know that you can offer to the community, please feel free. Come down to the office. You don't always have to have an appointment. You can walk in. If I'm not in a meeting, I will talk to you. My goal is to work with you to figure out how we can address the needs of the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. All right, okay. And we did appreciate that. We'll get back to our proposed rezonings. I know something that's probably on a lot of people's mind, and I think a lot of you have heard about the bills that were recently proposed by a council person at large and one of the other councilmen. I want you to know that I knew nothing about it. I didn't know it was coming down the track. Of course, my gut reaction regarding any type of zoning, anything that I haven't had a chance to speak to my community about is a no. Okay, unless we've actually talked about it and you tell me something different. So when we voted the other night, even though we weren't voting on the bill itself, we were voting on whether or not it should be deferred to April. They wanted more time to talk, or at least that's what they purported. I voted with the people that said, let's just shut it down now, you know. So that's where my vote went on that, for people in District 1 that wanted to know. Now, I did find out later during the meeting that they said that they had planned meetings in different communities, and she mentioned Bordeaux. I was not aware of that. It was planned without my knowledge. I don't think you knew about it. I don't think anybody knew about this so-called meeting. But there may be a time there is a meeting or whatever, but until then, I'm a no on it until we've been able to talk. So if you were wondering where I stood on that, you know that. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I watched that council meeting, and I just want to say, as someone from District 1 who watched it, the utmost disrespect was given to the council members on this side of the river When I say disrespect, go back and watch it. You're going to have to go through about 2 hours of a whole lot of talking that had nothing to do with anything, and it's at the very end. But the council members on this side of the river were given the utmost disrespect, disregard, and basically this bill, there wouldn't even really be a need for us to even have community meetings, because imagine having many apartments next door to your home that you worked hard for, and it's supposed to be for middle income. I don't see how anyone would regulate that, and I think for a community like this, we know what regulation has meant for us for decades. It was not in our best interest, and to me, this was just nothing more than an attempt to place something and shove something down really the entire city's throats that a lot of people probably are not going to want. And when they talk about affordability, I don't see it. There's a difference between having 1 or 2 houses valued at $800,000 next to me versus a whole neighborhood wiped out with tall skinnies all around you valued at $800,000, or so below market that it further drives down the value of your home. And this is what I saw. But please watch it if you didn't, because this side was given very much disrespect.
The bill was basically, my understanding is, to be able to make it automatic that if you have like a single family, like say you live in your house and it's zoned residential single family. What this bill would allow is if you decided, or if you sold, or some developer, or whoever decided to get your property, and you decide you want to put up 2 homes, or you wouldn't have to go through council anymore. You could just do it. Yeah, you could just do it. And I already know the temperature over here. You don't, I know, okay? You don't have to call and tell me, all right? I know, all right? I'm a know, okay? All right, so, oh, now I put, I got an email from planning. I'm sorry, I'm moving on to something else now. I got an email from planning regarding the property, it was item number 2, the Country Club Golf Course over on Knight Drive. My understanding is that's already overall been approved, but there's some other things they want to do where they have to go through BZA. I have not heard from them. I just really put this on here so I could keep up with it, because like I said, I know it requires council, you have to contact the council person, there has to be a meeting and everything. I have not heard from them, and I know their meeting is, I believe, March 7th, so I will let the Board of Zoning Appeal know at this time we know nothing about it, and I'm not supporting anything. It could be great, it could be wonderful, I don't know is the point. So anything I don't know, I'm pretty much against, okay? So that will be my correspondence with them. But I just pretty much had it on here so I could keep up with it, because I have not heard from these people. But like I said, what they're doing may be great, but when the time comes, we'll talk about it. Okay, and then we had one more. Did anybody ever come in from County Hospital Road? That may be the person that sent me an email that had to leave out of town. But I told them that I try to have these meetings at least once a month, so we'll catch up then. If there's anybody here from Scottsboro, I hadn't sent out the email yet, but I do plan on having a meeting there in Scottsboro on the 29th. That'll be again on a Thursday night. But I haven't sent out, I'll send that email out. Okay, so now for item number 1, and that's 4460 Ashland City Highway and 4309 Cato Road, and that's the religious institution, that's you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Council Lady Kimbrough, appreciate it. My name is Jeff Hooper. I'm a principal with Bard Civil Associates. We are a civil engineering firm that is over on Charlotte Pike. We've been in Nashville for about 30 years. Here representing ZIL and ZIL's Desire, and with me I have Pastor J.D. Oast. I have Phil Schmidt, who is basically their chief facilities gentleman, and then I also have John Michael, who is, his former role was the zoning administrator for Metro Nashville, and he's now with Thomas Burton. So that's our team that's here today, and we want to do a presentation on what ZIL wants. But I wanted to turn it over to Pastor JD for just a couple minutes and just tell you who ZIL is.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And thank you so much. This is incredible. I hear and can see the passion for the community. And so I'm always grateful to be a part of conversations like this. And our intent today is to begin the first step and listen. So my name is JD. My wife's name is Leah. If I could pass out a picture, you would like me more because she's pretty. I have 2 kids and started a church. So I was in Texas where I did ministry school at different places and learned and interned and was at a place called the Potter's House in Texas. And they taught me early on in ministry, don't ever go anywhere that you do not plan to serve and to listen. And so 9 years ago, in my living room at a little bitty house in Bellevue, my wife and I started a church. She would make chocolate chip cookies, and I would just ask questions like, how can we serve the community? And so last week we turned 9 years old, and I would say God's been really good to us. We're very grateful. But if you wanted to know why we're here, the answer is simple. We want to serve. We're here to make a difference. We're here to serve the disenfranchised, the unhoused. In fact, this morning when I pulled up to our office, they had trucks loading in to take supplies to several neighborhoods. The only thing that we do 7 days a week is serve. And so when we started our church 9 years ago, we thought, man, there's so many great churches in the area. We sure don't want to take away, but we just felt like we were called to be a unique, different church that serves. In a world of takers, we feel like it's our responsibility to add value, to give back. We're a very diverse church that exists in West Nashville that is very interested in expanding our ability to serve others. And so thank you for the team. I'm excited to be here and honored to take the first steps towards listening how we can add value. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You said to serve, exactly, expound on that, because
Sure, yeah.
from what I'm understanding, this would be potentially 2,000 seated church. And I know where you are now, and like I said, the traffic is horrible when I've gone through there and was like, I wish I had have chosen a different time.
Same
So
for me,
explain
yeah.
on exactly what your church, what
Sure.
services will provide, what it is you're wanting to do.
Sure, yeah. So as a Christian Bible teaching, Bible believing church, we gather on Sunday, but honestly, only so that we can scatter every day of the week and serve the communities. And so right now, like this morning, we're in Skyview. We're showing up with teams. We do 15 to 20 projects like that every month. So serving with local needs when it comes to food, clothing, education, partnering with Preston Taylor, which we adore. They are phenomenal. And so we find people in the community that are what we call specialists. They're great. They already have their ear to the ground. They have a heart for the community. So we just bring them hands and feet. So that's what we do. We find people that are already adding value. We come alongside them and help. So we do that all the time, every day of the week.
You mentioned homelessness, so
Yeah.
what services would you provide and
Awesome.
how?
Great question. So for those who are unhoused, what our teams will go is identify them, and we have ministries that have been in this community for 10, 20, 30 years. So we are kind of a bridge, the hands and feet that helps connect them to those who are specialists. We're a church. We know that there are nonprofits already doing a great job, so our job is to love them and link them to ministries who've already been here. We're only 9 years old. We're just trying to link people to greatness.
I also have been on Charlotte Avenue on Sunday
Yes.
and have seen the congestion getting out on Charlotte.
Yes.
I admire your ministry. I think it's a really great idea.
thank
You're the
you.
old-fashioned, back in the biblical days, where church met and they went out. But my question is more contemporary.
Sure.
With all the traffic congestion that you have on Charlotte, you will bring that, the 2,000-seat sanctuary, you're going to bring
Sure.
members, parishioners there.
Sure.
And we will have that congestion on Ashland City Highway, which is a 2-lane highway to begin with, accessed by Briley Parkway. Are you proposing, traffic management strategies are you proposing?
Yeah, I think my job today is to let you know who I am, and then I'll let the smart guys listen to those things and make sure we do everything that's required to where, once again, we are givers and we're serving. You don't feel like we're taking. So I want to make sure that our team does whatever it takes to make that happen. And I think Jeff is brilliant at that, and I think he can help us answer those questions.
got it.
Okay.
So I wasn't at the last meeting. Can you just very briefly, in a few sentences, what are you here asking the community for in terms of like zoning, or what are you trying to build? I think we've heard all about the org. What are you asking for?
Absolutely, and if we can pause there for a moment, we do have some slides so we can kind of go through why we're here. And we are here to answer questions as well and to listen. As you heard Pastor JD, is we want to give. That's the ultimate desire of Zeal Church. But there's a process that you have to go through to get to that point for Zeal. And so that's what we're here to tell you, the process that we have to take for. Yeah, absolutely.
And okay, so I want to make sure, because everybody doesn't really quite know this. Unlike some of the other people who come to us and they're asking to rezone and they're giving us their proposals, and I would have to approve that, this is a little bit different. This goes through the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I think their only requirement is to have a community meeting and to contact the council person. I don't have to approve it. Now, I think our feelings will go a long way, because I will follow up with Board of Zoning Appeals and let them know how the community feels about it. But unlike the regular rezoning, they don't have to have my approval. But I will make my community's feeling known on the matter. I just want to clear that up.
And if I could, Mr. Robert, would you mind starting?
I just had a question regarding the function of this facility. When you say you're a 7-day-a-week, boots-on-the-ground type of institution, that means that only one day is Sunday for church. How many people are coming and going out of your facility? What kind of business is being run out of there? Is there any housing involved? Are you short-term taking care of people? Is there going to be extensive traffic all day, every day, 7 days a week with it? So there is a storage, there is a warehousing?
No, there's no warehousing at all. All we do is let's say that we get goods or something like that, we'll put it on one vehicle. And so this morning, I think 5 families were doing that as a project. They show up to the church together. So this morning, I think there's 5 vehicles. And most teams are between 15 and 20 people. So it's how many other vehicles that would be, as far as during the week for projects.
Excuse me, yes. I'm Rosemary Brown, and I'm the pastor of Jordonia United Methodist Church. I have been the pastor 32 years now. I went out there when I got the information about your plans. It's a lovely piece of ground that you are bidding on, and I drove all the way back up so that I could see what was going. My question is, are you going to use Cato Road as an entrance to your church? If you are, you're in a lot of trouble. And the reason you're in a lot of trouble, we've got all those new condos that have gone up at the entrance. If you're going in off of Ashland City, I tried to figure out where the Sam Hill you would do that. And I knew you wouldn't jump off that cliff that's down on, okay. The thing is, the school is very precarious in the first place. I worry about those children all the time because people think that Cato Road is a racetrack, and they race all the way to Ashland City Highway. And I spent a whole afternoon just trying to study this. You need to know that our church inherited the property across next to the creek. We own all the way from the parking lot that gets used as a garbage dump all the way out to Ashland City Highway. It's very narrow. Cato Road is extremely narrow, and by the time you get parents delivering children, you get people going home from work, all that stuff, it's just awful. It is awful. We worship on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, and we've had a failing in our congregation because of the extreme transition going on in that part of Jordan. I'm worried about Cato Road. It's wonderful to have a new church. I'm all in favor of church. I think I've proven that after 30 years at that same little church. But we are anxious about traffic. We're anxious about the children. We're anxious about the fact that we have new neighbors coming in facing Ashland City. I want to know, are you going to use Cato as access as well as something coming off of Ashland City Highway?
Yes, ma'am, both are intended to be
Okay,
used
now
as
I gotta
access.
hear you, so.
Yes, ma'am, both of them are intended to be used as access points.
Oh, mercy.
And I think if we can kind of maybe go through the slides, it'll answer
All right,
some questions that might be helpful to, give that basis of information. Robert, if you have the next slide for me, please.
I have a question before
I want to know if Cato
you
Road is
start your
completed
slide program.
access to a church with 2,000. Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
tell me, explain to me what you have in mind about Cato Road.
We are planning accesses off of both Ashland City Highway and Cato Road. So, yes, so maybe we'll just skip to, let's go through this way. These are the two pieces of property that Zeal has under contract. It is 4460 Ashland City Highway and then 4309 Cato Road. In total, it's 16.39 acres, and it's zoned R15. Robert, do you think you can get to the next one, please, sir? There you go, perfect. If you look at religious institutions inside the zoning ordinance in Metro Davidson County, y'all cannot hear me? Yep. I don't know if I have enough for everybody, but. When you go into the zoning ordinance for Metro Nashville, there is a chart. And when you look at religious institutions, it'll tell you all the zonings across Nashville that allow religious institutions. There are only two that don't allow that outright, and those are in the shopping center. Inside residential districts, you see what's called this SE, and that stands for special exception. It's a special use permit. So by right, religious institutions are allowed pretty much everywhere inside Nashville. They're very community-based. They want to be local to their constituents, right? So they're spread out all across Nashville. What makes them unique inside a residential district and requires a special exception, you have to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Okay? We'll go to the next slide, please, sir. So the next slide, which is this page, is the layout, the general layout that we gave to the Board of Zoning Appeals for our appeal. Sure. So this aerial was taken off Metro's GIS. One on the church website has the house on it. You took drone footage. I'm using what Metro has published on their GIS. If you want to go look at Metro's GIS, that's the latest and greatest out there. I agree, right there where it says SP, they went and got a rezoning for an SP for a house and so some additional zoning up front on that piece of property. So that's not an intentional of that. That's just the latest grab that I got from Metro GIS. So All right, if we can go back to the third slide, please, sir. Thank you, Robert. You didn't know you were going to work this hard this morning, did you? And maybe if you can zoom out for me just a little bit. Okay, so in the zoning ordinance, because we're zoned RS-15, the government says we got to go to the BZA. What does the BZA do? What are they interested in? The BZA is going to be interested in three things with this case. Okay, they're going to be interested in land size, okay, because there's a requirement of having, make sure I get this right, it's on the drawing. There's a requirement of having 0.005 acres per seat, okay? So for 2,000 seats total, you would have to have 10 acres. Total property is 16.39, which would equate to over 3,200 seats available. For the church, for Zeal, phase one for them, which is probably the next 5 to 10 year growth for them, is 1,200 seats. So if you look at this exhibit, phase one total is 5,100 square feet, which is 21,000 square feet of auditorium, 8,000 square foot lobby and support, their kids wing, which is very, very active at Zeal, of about 12,000 square feet, and 9,000 square feet for office space. So about 51,000 square foot building footprint that holds 1,200 seats. They are planning for a phase two, which is an expansion of their kids' wings and offices of 11,400 square feet of kid space and 7,200 square feet of office wing, for a total of 69,700 square feet total. That's their two phases. That's what they want to develop now. We have told the BZA that we might ultimately have 2,000 seats in this sanctuary of this church, but that is not imminent. But it's important for the BZA to know that, because there's this land requirement of 0.005 acres for every seat in the sanctuary. So that's the first thing the BZA is going to be interested in. The second one is street standard. If you have more than 1,000 seats in a church, you got to have access to an arterial. So Mr. Robert, if you can post back up and go to the next slide for me, please, sir. An arterial. Yes, ma'am. And so this is Metro's major collector street plan, and they classify these streets by a bunch of numbers and letters. The AB5 that you see on there is an arterial boulevard 5-lane. So right there at that section of Briley Parkway and Highway 12 or Ashland City Highway, comes from 2 lanes and it widens out to 5 lanes right there at the interchange. So it is classified as an arterial on Metro's transportation plan. Correct. There's the frontage of the shared drive on the frontage, which dumps us into the arterial. So, and that's, again, what BZA is looking for: size, access to an arterial, which is what we're showing here. And then the third thing that is the requirement for the special exception is, because it is considered more of a commercial use and going in a residential district, that you have to provide necessary buffers between you and residentially zoned properties. So if we can just jump to the last slide, Mr. Robert, that would be great. One more, please, sir. That one. Maybe zoom out just a little bit. So What the ordinance says, we got to put a landscape type buffer B, as in boy, everywhere we abut residentially zoned property. They can be different widths. As you see, the wider the width, the less plantings that have to go in them. The narrower the width, the more plantings that have to go in them. So for instance, if you looked at B3, we said we were going to provide a B-type buffer that is 10 foot wide. For every 100 feet that we adjoin a residential piece of property, we got to put 4.5 canopy trees, 1.8 understories, and 18 shrubs. That's a requirement. That's a code requirement. So these are the things that the Board of Zoning Appeals are going to be taken into consideration. Okay? The reason that we're here is just a requirement of the Board of Zoning Appeals that we tell you this, that there is going to be a meeting. That meeting's going to be on March 7th. It's going to be held at 1 o'clock. It is going to be at Metro Public Schools, and it is a public hearing. And the community has a right to come out and voice their concerns. They can do it via email. You can come out in opposition. You can come out in support. We would love to have support. Okay? But this is what the Board of Zoning Appeals is going to be considering that day. And only that. That is set up by the rules. For us, it's a very important step, obviously, because if the BZA says you don't meet these criteria, we can't develop a church on it. If they say, yes, you meet our requirements, we go into the next phase, which goes into the design components of things. We got to do traffic impact studies. We got to do land development plans. We got to work with zoning. We got to work with stormwater. We got to work with NDOT. We have to go through that entire process and meet all the other regulations from every one of those different entities inside Metro to actually break ground. And that's a lengthy process. It's an extremely, we have, so the church has the 2 properties under contract, and to ensure that they're not buying something they don't want to buy, we're done geotechnical investigations. We've done hydrologic determinations to see if there's streams out on the property. We've done our phase 1 environmental report to see if there's any environmental concerns, but we have not gone into the design details yet as far as we got 1 lane coming in and out of the site, or do we need 3 lanes? That is a function of a traffic impact study. It is a requirement from NDOT for if you're adding over 50,000 square feet, it's automatic. You have to do it. Our team has to go sit down with NDOT. NDOT tells us where we have to go do traffic counts and tells us what we have to report back to them. We have to do that. But we are not going to do that if the BZA tells us we can't even be on this piece of property. It's just an important step of, are we allowed? We don't get to make the decision. We think we meet those 3 criteria. We're confident in that. But it's up to the Board of Zoning Appeals to tell us yes or no that we meet those 3 criteria. So we don't get to make the decision as the developer. The city gets to tell us that.
First of all, I need you to go back a few slides.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Robert. Do you know which slide?
Keep going. That's the one right there.
Okay.
That's the one. I'm looking at where the property kind of borders closer toward Ashland City Highway, so it's the narrow part. Yeah, right up through there. There's a little access road that stops right there. It goes in front of 4 houses. Are you saying you're going to try to use that little access road
that is the shared, yes, that is the little shared driveway between all those properties.
Oh, no, that's not going to work. That's definitely not going to work. So I just had to be clear because you were trying to make it sound like it was something directly to Bradley Parkway, but that goes directly in front of 3 of the 4 houses that are right there. It's no way you're gonna be able to get, I mean, that's ridiculous. So I would automatically say, I'm a no. Definitely a no.
Yeah,
Don't get
I'm
in a-
Smith
Well, my
Curry.
opinion is a no, and I do get that.
I've been on Cato Road 20 years, and it's just one attempted abuse after another. We just got through dealing with that industrial warehouse they're trying to put in right near there. And the same thing, there's no way in and out. There's no way in and out. Planning disapproved because there's no way in and out. There were 2 deaths on Cato Road just a short while ago, leaving the tiny church. What's going to happen with 2,000 people? There's just no way to do it. There's no way. It's not the place. It's inappropriate. You know, this is a residential and rural area. It's not a place for a big corporate Baptist megachurch or whatever you're trying to do, man. It's just not the place for it.
And you haven't really answered my question about Cato Road. That is a real concern for those of us in that area pastoring churches already. Church I pastor's been there 100 years. And it just doesn't make sense that Cato Road could accommodate a congregation of 2,000 people. And we've got the folks living in those new condos that, you know, they have to turn in there, they have to park there. And already, my concern is the human life of children. We've got children on that road, and it's just too narrow. It's too narrow. We fall all over each other on Sundays already. He lives in the houses that dead end. You can't get on to the Briley Parkway there from there.
And I understand that, and that's what the intent of the traffic study is. It'll tell us if we have to make improvements to Cato Road or improvements to that intersection at Ashland City Highway. It's going to come through a report, and we don't have that information yet, and that's a process in step 2. Step 1 is we've got to go in front of the BZA to let them tell us whether we have the rights to go here or not.
Okay.
We go into that second phase of design.
My name's Cody Walker. I live on Cato Road. We've been on Cato Road 9 years. One thing that's already been brought up is how badly the school impacts the traffic every morning at 8 and 3, and there's only 400 students in that school. So you're talking about 400 students and that traffic. But what I want to point out is the good thing about the school is Little Cato Road connects Cato and Eaton's Creek. So there is a way to jump over to Eaton's Creek. But where this would come out on Cato Road, you can't get to that cut through. So what that brings up in my mind is a safety concern of all the people that live up Cato Road, 2 subdivisions up there. If they have a heart attack, a house fire, a break-in, how do fire trucks get back there, police cars get back there, ambulances get back there? I mean, I think it's a major safety concern, a major safety concern. And as a church that wants to serve communities, I would think you would take that into consideration.
Okay, when you don't want somebody at your meeting, you set it at a time, like May the 7th at 1 o'clock, and most of you people are probably gonna be at work. That's what I do. If I don't want you at my meeting, I set it at a time where you be at work, so I don't have nobody protesting against my project. But if you're trying to clean up something, I noticed that they got a homeless camp in Bellevue I don't see y'all working with. But you're gonna come over here, over in our district and start something. I don't see where the church got some kind of program they may have during the summertime where they can mentor children. Maybe that's not, maybe there's no concern. Maybe you don't care about the children over in this neighborhood. I don't know. But we would like to know if you're going to put a nice facility, you have some mental program for these kids, you know, during the summertime. You know, but if you don't care nothing about us over here, then I wouldn't do it. Thank you.
I think there was a question in there. I cannot speak to what Zeal does because I'm I'm not a Zill employee or go to Zill Church. I'm their engineer. But I know that they have a lot of outreach programs for the communities that they're in. With regards to the time of the meeting, Metro Nashville sets that, not us. That is the Board of Zoning Appeals, date and time. They give the opportunity to advertise. Y'all will be getting more letters from us because it's a requirement that we notify you certain things. Just like today's a requirement to tell you that we have asked this opinion from the Board of Zoning Appeals. But we don't set the time at 1 o'clock, sir. It's done by the Board of Zoning Appeals.
I think this is special because they had to give up their normal meeting place for voting because early voting's about to take place. So this is like a special meeting, a special time, special place. I don't think this, even though I don't.
So the meetings are always at 1 o'clock. They're always on a Thursday. They happen twice. They have it twice a month. They are moving the location of this one. It's normally in the Sunny West Center. They have moved the location because of voting, and when they move the location, they go out to MNPS's headquarters, which is out on Bransford Avenue. So again, that meeting is on March 7th at 1 p.m. at MNPS. So, yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I just had a question for the church. That's a very large child wing. Is that like after-school programs? Is that like Mother's Day Out? Is that a preschool? Is that a child care? Is that a something that drives 5, 6 days a week?
No, it's just a room on Sunday mornings for children of all ages. So every single age group has specific ministerial environments for them. So specific curriculum to them. So it's just making sure we have room for all the young families.
Okay, so it's not like a daycare center or anything in there?
Not phase one. If we ever felt like we could add value to the community by doing something like that, that'd be awesome. But phase one, we're just really thinking taking care of the families and all their children and making sure they have space.
Okay, thank you.
So I have 3 questions for you, Pastor. So you can go ahead and stand up, Pastor, because I think most of the questions are going to come for you about what the church is planning to do. You can go ahead up front, and that way I can put you on camera.
Can we have church? Can somebody play the keys?
Know, right?
And by the way, thank you. Made a lot of notes about Cato Road. Thank you so much for voicing that.
So I have 3 quick questions for you. I've been waiting. I think y'all missed me because I was back here in the booth.
Can I have your hoodie?
But,
yes, that's a great hoodie.
I do serve as the administrator here at the church, and the first question I have is, why are you all moving from your other location, and why did you choose this particular location in town?
Sure, yeah. We love West Nashville, and so for us, it's out of passion. Zeal means passion, and so we wanted to find a place where we could expand and continue to minister to the area that we feel called to, that we love. And so of all the places, we loved right over here. And so if God gives us the opportunity, we'd love to do it.
I guess that doesn't specifically answer why are you moving. Like, how many seats?
Yeah, there's 460 seats, but in order to maintain traffic flow and stuff like this, we just have multiple services so that it's a little easier. Now, because Charlotte Pike right now is awful. Like, it's awful all the time. And so that would be the reason. We're out of space, and so we're in multiple services, and so just need more space to do ministry.
Got you.
Yes,
I think that you're going to run into that same problem over here, but that's why I'm asking that first question, just for you to think about that.
Well, let me speak to that, because
okay,
what we don't want to do is overload an area, especially when you come in community to serve. We want to listen. We have a multi-site vision, meaning we want to have a church in most communities so that people can do life with the people they do church with. And so we love the idea of Brentwood and different areas around Nashville to have churches. And so we don't want to just be a regional church where everybody all over the city comes to one place. We would rather start churches in those areas so they can do life with people that they live close to. Does that make sense? We don't want to overload one location. Hopefully that helps.
So, second question, what have you done specifically in this community? I heard you mention that you had done some work at Napier. You're planning on coming right up next to Cumberland Elementary School. What type of work have you already done in Cumberland and other schools?
Yeah, it's a great question. So my mom, I call her Mother Teresa. Her name is Lori. She oversees outreach teams. And then we teach the church, we don't exist for us. We're a church, we exist for the world. And so that is a question that gets answered. When I say every day of the week, I mean every day of the week. Showing up, for instance, one of the schools within 2 miles of our location. We got information from the principal, from the administration of who needs Christmas this year. So we do stuff like that all the time where we're serving teachers, serving schools, and then also meeting a need if we can.
So my question is, what have you done specifically for this community
This
here?
specific school,
I'm asking about this community. You're planning to bring a 2,000-seat sanctuary, and you're talking about the service that you provide to the community. And I'm asking, what services have you provided to this specific community to let us know that you're
sure.
a true partner with us?
That's a great question. Let me give you the email address of my mom, because she can give you
No.
over 9 years.
You're the
We have
pastor.
8 to 15 outreach projects a month.
I got
Where
you.
people are serving. This morning it is in 2 different neighborhoods. And so if you want to list, if you want that real information, Lori at zillchurch.tv is my mom. And so she can answer that question and make sure because there's so many, it's 15 to 20 a month.
Make sure you get it to our councilwoman, and she'll disseminate it to
Absolutely,
everybody.
will do.
But I'm just going to be hard on you, brother.
Please.
I would expect you to know that. If you said you're the pastor, right?
Yeah, with 22 staff, I would say my mom, well, I'll make sure somebody knows that, and I'll get you that answer.
I understand.
And I can do it pretty quickly.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. My last one. As a church, if the community tells you that they do not want this project and is very clear with you about that, what are your plans? Will you go ahead and try to do this project against the community's will?
I think we're going to put together a team that listens. I'm going to hire the people that we think are smart and do what's right. That's what I promise you. I'll do the right thing and make the right decision with a lot of prayer. It'll be a weighty decision. We'll make sure we put together a team. I'm sorry? The right decision for the community. Yeah, the right decision for the community, for sure. For sure.
Okay, thank you. That was all my questions.
No, thank you. And I'll make sure to get that list to her if you're looking for the type of projects and what all we've done. Make sure you get that.
I'm not sure if mine's is exactly a question. In hearing the engineer speak about the traffic and the studies that are going to happen and the possible changes that may have to happen to Cato Road, I'm speaking on behalf of my 86-year-old second cousin, who is the minister of that 120-year-old church that is about to be put on the historic register, that has a very small, tiny footprint, that is on both sides of Cato Road, a road that doesn't really have lines on it. You can't tell where the edges of it are. It's so old and narrow. She has a tiny sliver of land she's trying to hang on to. And if you come through and make your upgrades and expand the size of the road to accommodate the traffic that they're going to be bringing in, you're going to take her land. And she doesn't have a whole lot to lose. So everyone in this community is still trying to hang on to what they've got. And to have a fancy man that can't even answer what he's going to do for the community, he's got to get his mother to come and do it. I want to know how we are sitting here with this monster coming into this neighborhood, and I speak 30 years she's been pastoring there. That's the most beautiful church. Didn't they use it on a TV show? What show did they film there? Nashville, filmed there. It's gorgeous. And you're going to come in and take over just like everything else ugly that's happening to Nashville. And it concerns me. You're talking about dropping in, because I know you're here because you got Briley Parkway and you can get people here lots and fast, being that close to that junction of Ashland City Highway. And Ashland City Highway at rush hour is a nightmare. Everything in that area is antiquated. Our power's going to start going out. We're going to start losing everything infrastructure-wise. And you guys are coming in to do what? For this community.
Destroy.
We're sitting next to a gentleman who owns a house where you can come off of Ashland City Highway, just kind of up like this before you get to the interstate Briley Parkway, and his house is sitting there, and it dead ends. Is that where you're going to go in off of Ashland City Highway?
Yes, the little access road that's off of Ashland City Highway, that is one of the access points.
Okay, my question is, first of all, you all purchased the property prior to.
We
You
have
haven't
not, we
purchased-
have not
okay,
purchased the property.
So where else demographically have you researched that this would be a better fit for you other than this community here?
We actually went through some similar exercises on property on the other side of Bradley Parkway that did not function well. It was permitted straight outright. This one still has the conditional use. I know Pastor JD and his team have looked for land for, we've been talking to you guys for at least 2 years. It's hard. It's hard to find pieces of property that doesn't impact somebody that meets all the requirements. It's hard. That's just an
So-
honest statement. This is a piece of property that does fit the need. I hear the concerns. I share the concerns. I'm a native Nashvilleian. I've seen all the development.
But you don't live over here.
I do not live
See,
here.
everybody that want to bring stuff over here don't live over here and have to deal with the everyday chaos that goes on over here. And it's not fair to us as residents for y'all to do this kind of nonsense. It's plenty churches over here. And it's plenty churches that's serving and doing good. So we don't really encourage these another big mega church to come over here. You got property all up and down Hillsborough Pike, beautiful land. You got property all out in Fairview, beautiful land. Have you been out there to build your mega church out there? Fairview. You got all types of property out there because I drive those areas quite a bit. I'm sorry. And so it's just not fair to the people that live here in this community that we are disserviced like this all the time, bringing things over here where we are inconvenienced with traffic and all other kind of chaos that comes to the community. So I'm strictly against this whole big mess. Thank you.
I think your church, this is not a good look for your church. This is not, for many, the optics. If you look at the history of this community, if you haven't, I recommend you do it because it is a very, very bad look for your church. And like she said, we've got plenty of churches in this community to serve our needs. So we don't need anyone trying to pull the resources from them. So if you want to be respectful of us, and as you can tell, we are diverse, but once again, look at the history of this community. And if you want to be honest, you want to be Christian, you will back away. You'll back away because I'm finding it odd that you haven't been in your church where you are that long. No. So how did you end up over here and with the social climate of what's going on? I'm sorry. I've looked online at the Zeal churches, and it seems like they're kind of nationwide. I've seen several Zeal, and it's the same symbol. They're huge. They're massive. It is like beyond, my mouth fell open because I thought, what in the world is it, a city in a city? What is it? So like I said, if you want to be disrespectful to the people in this room, and like I said, her church, I go by sometimes just to look at it because it's beautiful. It is an asset to our community. So all of the assets that make our community nice, they're getting threatened. And you said it's hard to find, but see, that's the key, sir. People come to this community because they think we don't matter. They think, they have no power over there. They don't understand. They're ignorant. They're not, blah, blah, blah. They don't know. That's not the case, sir. That's not it. And like I said, we're all getting tired. Look around. We are diverse. Several different age groups in here. We're getting tired. And if you want to disrespect us on multiple levels, move forward. Because I know what you're saying, but for me, I looked at things at the practical matter. And I appreciate you that you want to serve, but we have plenty of churches that can serve our community.
So I had no idea that Zeal was going to be here. I actually go to Zeal Church. I just came here for a community meeting, and I think they're trying to impact Nashville, and obviously there's going to be a few opposition in a small area. But I think for this lady back here to call JD a monster is a little bit harsh. Like, I'm not sure she has any evidence for that. Just to simply outright call somebody a monster. I mean, obviously he's representing the ladies back here's church as well. I think that's a little bit outrageous, but I fully support him. District 1. I live closer to Joel. Does everybody here live on Cato Road? You live on Cato Road? So does your voice matter?
I have one thing.
Yes, sir.
So does mine.
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. Okay, guys. Let's not give the side of Hold on. Where's the other mic?
Right here.
Okay. Guys, District 1, now you know we're always respectful regardless of what we think. We're always very respectful and we're always very dignified. And we all get together. We make our decisions. So let's be respectful. Let's not attack anyone, okay? Because we are one. We are one. You know, we are one. Okay, and haven't we been together so far? Is there any reason to think we won't continue to be together? Okay, well, let's be respectful, okay? All right, and thank you. Okay.
My name is Taurus McCain. I do a lot of rezonings, and I'm familiar with the BZA. And if you all are really against this, I would tear them up if they show up, seriously. So if we are really against this, we need to get together, and I will go in and I will light them up. I promise you, they won't get it.
All right, okay, thank you. Thank you all for coming out and doing your presentation. I appreciate it. The handouts and everything, the professionalism, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Did I get everybody that had a rezoning proposal? I got everybody? Okay. All right, yes, Mr. Ewing. Okay, he was saying that the email address for the BZA is bza@nashville.gov. BZA, like boy, zebra, apple, at nashville.gov. Whoa. One more, this is important, one more thing. If you live in District 1 and you are not on my email list, if you're not getting the emails regarding the meetings, please let me know. You can just drop me an email at joy.kimbrough@nashville.gov and say add me. Or you can text me your email address and I will add you. My phone number is 615-753-4797. Again, that's 615-753-4797 if you are not on my email list. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Before everybody leaves, I have one announcement. I want to remind everyone, early voting starts next week, February 14th. Make your voice heard the same way you did today. If you're looking for better schools and a better community, I know of a great candidate to vote for school board. His name is Robert Taylor. He happens to be standing right here. Thank you all. Please vote Robert Taylor for school board. Thanks.
Thank you for driving. I'd love to get my flash drive back.
Yeah, I got you.